Here's all your pills.
What a thing to go live on. Here's your pills.
Here's
your
all your
pills.
pills, indeed. Howdy, rowdy to everybody out there in Streamland. Thank you for joining us this evening. If you are just joining us for the first time, we are live from The Apocalypse, a not-for-profit TTRPG studio that raises money for various charities and other nonprofits through our programming. So if you like what you are seeing here, and we sincerely hope that you do, that you're not just hate watching us, I'm sorry, like everyone else, I am distracted by what is going on. What is going on in Cass's? For you can't see it. You can't see it through the window, but there is cat chaos. A cat chaos is occurring. But yes,
Cat crime.
But yes, so if you enjoy the cats, and there will presumably be more, that rather than giving money to us in the form of blips, chits, corporate scripts, Jeff E-Bucks, all those sorts of things, that you take that money and instead give it directly to the causes that we are raising money for, which in this case is Medical Aid for Palestinians, that are doing a lot of very good humanitarian work in the Gaza Strip right now. You may see that we have hidden from you the usual subscribe button. We cannot get rid of it completely because of how Twitch works, but seek it at your peril, and only if you can answer me these riddles 3. In its place, there is a donate button, which you can use to donate to Medical Aid for Palestinians. The numbers might be a little bit weird because it is a British charity, and so the donations are made in Great British pounds sterling, as opposed to America Freedom Bucks. But the money is all still going to the same place. We do have some donation incentives, which I will go over in just a moment. We are playing Star Trek Gallant, using the Star Trek Adventures system. Gonna be doing some space nonsense out here. Probably violating the Prime Directive just a little bit as a treat. Among our donation incentives, you can donate $5 to provide momentum, which is good for the crew. You can donate $5 to add threat, which is good for me. You can also donate $5 to name a red shirt. Name a red shirt that is in a current scene or that may show up in a future scene. And if I really like you, I might even let them live. I would point out that Ensign Binks is very much alive.
For now.
In spite of Cass shooting him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I have killed 0 red shirts so far. And indeed, I have done violence to none of them. Only one person here has done violence against red shirts, and it's not me. Speaking of people who hate adorable red shirts named Ensign Binks, why don't we introduce ourselves, starting with Cass?
Bold words, Brennan. Bold. Anyway, hi, I'm Cass, aka Yoda or Yoda Almighty. I am playing. I absolutely just blanked on my own name for a hot second. Lieutenant Commander Vimes Sassam, Chief Security Officer for the Gallant. I did shoot Ensign Binks. Ensign Binks disobeyed a direct order to put his weapon down. He's trained better than this. I didn't aim for any vital locations, and my phaser was set to stun, so I don't know why anybody's complaining. He's alive. He's fine.
Everyone's fine. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know who's fine? This one Klingon doctor who's running around these streets.
I was not expecting for that tiny bit of dialogue. I was not expecting the thirst for Barot, son of Garoth, to be this strong.
Big, strong, soft doctor? Very good. Very good. Hi, I'm Julie.
It sure is a good thing that I already intended on him being important in a later arc, or else I would have had to write that.
I'm very glad I can help keep him around. Hi, I'm Julia. Today I'm going to be playing First Officer Nico Bard. They are trying to navigate politics and command, and they're doing okay so far. They've got a couple wild ideas, such as letting what it appears to be the Romulan equivalent of Alex Jones onto the Gallant for a little tour, based on description. But we'll see if that actually happens. That might not happen, but that is one of Nico's wackier theories. So
Probably be fine, especially given what we found out at the very end of the last session. But before we get to that,
oh, it's my turn. Sorry, I'm distracted by my cats going into goblin mode off to my right here, and just making sure they're not actively breaking anything. But anyways, hi, I'm Bruges, and I am playing Lieutenant Commander Sosarine, who is a joined trill and a science officer, not a medical officer, despite the fact that she keeps having to do medical things. And one of these days, you guys are going to regret doing that, because that is not her specialty. And these roles that aren't killing anybody can only last for so long. So
we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I guess that just leaves me. Hi, everybody. I am Brendan. I'm the storyteller. I'm going to be playing everybody else. My cats were being adorable earlier, but then they decided before it was live time that they did not want to be streamers, and so they left. And you know what? I respect their desire for privacy. So I think that actually brings us handily to where we had left off at the end of the last session. You were examining the conference room where all of the assorted chicaneries had gone down. You had determined that probably the range on what you are suspecting was some sort of psionic device that was used to create the hostile work environment that led to Ensign Binks getting shot. Probably would had to have been used from inside the room that you were in. And it was around that time that you were looking out the window, looking at the info feeds that are currently being pretty spicy about the situation here on Enzuris, and caught a fleeting glimpse from something of a paparazzi photo of Enzuran media mogul Takal, whom Lieutenant Commander Vimes to Sam recognized rather unexpectedly.
Don't know his name.
I mean, you've heard him called Takal by people here, so
Sure.
It seems legit.
Vimes to Sam is my real name. Absolutely.
wait a second.
No, it
You
really is my
wouldn't.
real name.
You wouldn't
I really-
lie on your Starfleet paperwork, would you?
Have you ever been affiliated with any organizations hostile to Starfleet?
You wouldn't
I
lie
mean,
like a
You-
liar.
you wouldn't download a car.
Yeah. Commander, permission to personally escort to call around the Gallant?
Oh, yeah, if you want to. We haven't actually officially made that
I will personally extend the invitation.
Oh, I'm glad to see you're so enthusiastic about this collaborative movement.
Yes.
There's no sense motive in this game, is there?
So
I can't just like.
I mean, with the stats that are available to us, I would probably call that an insight security, probably would be what I would call that.
Honestly, I think you know me well enough at this point to know that I am being shady.
Okay.
Yes, you're being shadier than usual.
Like, there's a tone to your voice I haven't heard in an age.
Commander, Lieutenant Commander, I recognize that man.
So when you say you recognize this man, do you mean
Cannot and will not tell you. Please do not order me to do so.
Well, I wouldn't do that, Vimes. But is it like, was it like a bad breakup, or was it just like
Not that kind of recognition.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I know you were distracted by the Klingon earlier, but
listen.
Wait, what Klingon?
Oh, Sosa. Sorry, Lieutenant Commander, because there's another ensign in the room, I believe, with us. Lieutenant Commander, you need to go play doctor.
You know I don't like playing doctor.
No,
What
you will
weird
like
request-
this.
So he's a Klingon. And he's got his own medical school here on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
He's running the med tents and the triage, and he's just absolutely charming.
You want to take the commander with you. They get all twitchy. It's kind of adorable.
I genuinely did not think that those like 3 lines of dialogue were going to have that much of an impact. But I suppose that's Star Trek for you.
That's Star Trek. We are.
Look, people got to fall fast in Star Trek. They've got like 30 minutes to make things happen, Brandon.
It's true. Yeah. They've got like 30 minutes for that entanglement to make the mission complicated.
And sometimes it's a ghost.
No, sometimes it is a ghost.
Yeah.
You're not Nana.
But yeah, if you, all right, you can. I will let you handle to call.
Thank you.
But just please remember that everything we do is under a microscope right now.
This may be a poor decision on my part, considering they are my prime suspect, but oh god, what was her name? Dodica?
Mm-hmm.
No. Yes.
I know you were near the end. I know you're on your pin board. You were accusing multiple members of the negotiating team on both sides. So
yeah, you were accusing both Dodica.
No, not Dodica. No. The Romulan who shot who shot the guy. What was her name?
Oh, Aquila.
Aquila.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. If it was used within the room and it wasn't one of the ambassadors or the negotiators, the next thing is the person who did the shooting.
Yeah. So Aquila was not the first one to start shooting. That was Binks, and then the first of the Romulan guards to start shooting was Vorin, and Aquila because Vorin shot at you, Vimes.
Yes.
And then Aquila shot Vorin.
But none of the guards were the ones who started getting upset first. That was Kadith and Vani.
Yes.
Yeah. The overall vibes in the room were deteriorating quickly. And you found the signs of the psionic interference in everyone's brains except for Vorin, who was the first Romulan to start shooting.
And was dead.
And is dead.
Yes. And whose body we do not have.
I believe you still have Vorin's body.
Do we?
Yes.
Yeah.
At least I'm tracking that you still have Vorin's body.
Yeah.
I did not write that down. We have Voren's body. Okay. Cool. Okay.
Yes,
This is
the-
I
just
still
my
got
plans.
Voren up in. I still got Voren up in my lab.
Yes, yeah.
Beautiful. Okay.
My understanding was that the rest of the Romulan guards were released from the Gallant, but that
Yes,
Voren's
because
body,
Aquila came back down with us. Yes.
yes, but that Voren's body was still in the Gallant's med bay in your labs for
I assume
for future
they'll
pokings.
want his body back soon,
Eventually.
but
Yes, they will. There is pressure to release the body, but as of right now, you've been able to stall long enough to potentially do additional stick wavy things at the body.
Okay. So I'm going to pitch this above table. Plan. I get
all the
Aquila
best
with
plans
me.
start by declaring that they are a plan. Yes.
Oh.
That's 10% of the plan. Okay. I get Aquila with me because I'm of the opinion that if it were me and I had a lackey doing the manipulation, that I would take them out to cover the tracks, right? Or Aquila's also being manipulated. Good to have somebody local on our side, right? Have Aquila come with me to go with the call. You guys go off to finish making device to find Zappy Doodad or block Zappy Doodad and interview the ambassadors and the negotiators. But that is plan A. What do we think?
So if I remember
I
correctly,
mean, I've got a team
the
working on the
Yeah.
the science-y doodad.
Yeah.
So we probably
science-y
don't
doodad
actively need to
is-
go work on that.
it is in hand.
I think working on the detector is currently being handled by Lieutenant Asset. But there are other angles you could investigate and other sciencey shit you could potentially do if you wanted to. So
I don't know what everybody else wants to do.
yeah, you're at a stage where there's a bunch of potential things you could do, and there's not really any wrong answers. So
Yeah.
it's kind of just what directions do you feel like you guys want to go in?
Well, I think if I remember correctly, we're reconvening to do the actual negotiations again tomorrow. Today
Yes.
is the resecuring and everything of that. So if
Yes.
you want to go round up to call and see if we can
Mm-hmm.
take you on the Gallant,
Mm-hmm.
I think we can do that. We can make sure that check in with Kadith. I want to check in with Kadith at one point and see how she thinks we stand with the negotiations and everything, because I spoke a lot to Vani and Dodica on the Gallant post everything, but I did not really talk to her. So I think I do need to go back to wherever she is and talk to her. And then
Well, I'm happy to accompany for those interviews under the guise of doing follow-up diagnostic tests on everybody.
good. Yeah.
I
I'm just
suppose if you're
doing-
going to go talk to Call with Aquila, you could bring to specifically denounce the reporting that Takal's network is doing, saying that we actively kidnapped the ambassadors.
Yes.
And correct
Yes.
that misreporting from both Federation and local security force spokespersons.
Yes.
And I won't
To
bother to
show
ask
a
why you
force.
so desperately want to go talk to Call without us.
I don't want to say it out loud in this room where I don't know if there are listening devices. Yeah.
But we'll hear about it at Cards.
Yes. Cards and book night.
Okay. All
And
right.
maybe I owe you both a story.
All right.
Meanwhile, like the ensign in the corner is like, this is going to be such a hit in the lower decks.
I don't believe we have a name for this ensign either, do we?
No.
this
the
this red
unnamed ensign.
this red shirt is as of yet unnamed.
Just a wee
$5.
babby.
Just $5. Okay. So you guys are going to go back up. I'm going to grab Aquila and go get to call. Is that the plan?
Yep.
Okay.
Have fun? Is that correct?
Nope.
Okay. Be safe.
Better.
All right.
All right. So, of these two groups, let's follow oh my god, I'm going to be doing this literally every single session and for the end of
It's
this
not
game.
Nico.
It's not Nico, it's Nico.
It's not
Nico.
It's Nico. I'm going to do this every single session for the entire rest of this game. We're going to follow Nico and Sosa.
Because it's nigh impossible to remember how to pronounce Nico's name.
You know, I hate to say it, but that's actually
a really good one.
That's actually a decent memory device that might actually help me.
It might be exactly the kind of thing Brendan needs.
It's true.
Amazing.
Oh, I like the chat. Bill Nico.
Mhm.
Yes.
It's good.
All
It's
right, so
good.
we're going to
also
go
climb
ahead
into a
and
Jeffries too.
follow Nico and Sosa first. Where are you guys going?
I think definitely just for flavor, we don't have to get all into it, but definitely stick our head into the medical tent to check on our people, and also so I can show Sosa the doctor. But then I think
First things first. Show me the hottie doctor.
yeah, absolutely. Like we have priorities. So check on our people, show the hot doctor, and then would Kadith have stayed on the Gallant, or does Kadith have quarters here that she would be staying in?
Kadith has quarters on Enzoris.
Okay. Then after we see hot doctor, go up to
Barat says, hello.
What's happening?
I said Barat says, hello.
Oh. Hi. Very nice. Got a whole school. That's ambitious. Vimes told me that I have to wait until after the conspiracy, so. Which seems boring. And then yeah, go up to Kadith's office, apartments, cubicle. Knock on her door.
After a few moments, the door, you do hear from within. I'm sorry, I was about to say, nobody ever answers their door. They always say, enter. Or just,
the door just does it.
Come.
Hello?
That's just how they talk in the 25th century. Enter.
Gonna go on in. Hello, Ambassador.
Yes, Kadith is sitting on a couch, going over the contents of a pad. Both of you go ahead and give me a insight medicine.
Well, one of them is a 4 and one of them is a 20, so mixed success, I would say.
You know what helps to do this game? If you have dice to roll. When is the time to roll dice?
Math rocks to throw.
Exactly why I ran away, because I left my dice in the other room.
Make number appear.
All right. Well, I don't know if these are the best two I've got, but I've got 2. So we'll just do this real quick. one success.
Okay. It's one success each?
Yeah.
Okay. Kadith doesn't look great. I mean, some of this is, you might say that, like, you're not used to seeing her in a very, like, casual, like, undone up environment, but, like, definitely, like, skin looks kind of sallow, has some, like, deep, like, rings under her eyes. Oh, commanders, what can I help you with?
Oh,
Oh,
we were coming. Yeah.
yeah, go for it. Yeah.
We were coming to check on you and see how you're doing and do like a little follow-up examination.
Oh, certainly. Well, I've I felt better, certainly. I kind of assumed that it was just nerves from everything that has happened. Nothing a little Tarkalian tea won't set to rights, though, I'm sure. I'm feeling I can do this. I know how important these negotiations are. I've worked too hard at this for too long to let a little cold knock me out of the fight just yet.
Would you permit me to just do a quick diagnostic, just to rule out any alternate reasons for your malaise?
Certainly. Please go ahead. I suppose it's better to know. Um, but I must insist that whatever you turn up, I'm adamant about continuing with the negotiations.
Um, so Serene's gonna, pop out one of those little, like, tiny, like, pod things they use and just, like, do the quick scan thing looking at her.
So yeah, for this, interesting. I will actually let you science for this. Go and give me an insight science.
Yes. Two successes.
So the readings aren't great. Um, you are seeing a lot of unusual synaptic activity. Um, Seems to be originating in the same area of the brain that you originally seeing, like the amygdala, where you were seeing a lot of like hyperactive activity immediately following the attack, immediately following the incident. It seems as though this has triggered some sort of a prolonged stress response that is causing sort of a cascade of problems in the rest of the nervous system.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Um,
Hard to say why exactly. It's possible that it may be that because she is a Betazid, that uh, may be particularly susceptible to side effects from such a psionic attack.
mhm, mhm. Um, I would actually advise you to go to med bay for some follow-up treatment. I believe a hypospray of inoprovaline could help with balancing some concerning synaptic activity that I'm seeing.
Oh, synaptic activity. That's not really what I was expecting. I thought I'd just picked up a bug.
I think your immune system might be reacting to a certain conditions that we have been observing from the attack today. I can't say more at this time as we're still investigating, but I think that some medical intervention might help speed along this recovery period for you.
I how long do you think that I'm going to need to stay there?
Mhm.
If I will go. I will beam up to your med bay. I will submit you any tests that you want, any treatments, so long as I am free to beam back down here for the negotiations tomorrow. That is my one condition. That is the one thing that I have to insist upon.
Unless you pose a risk to others, we cannot force you to stay in medbay.
Well,
So, but I think your chances of making it to negotiations tomorrow would be greatly increased by taking the time to get medical attention now.
well, I'm no Vulcan, but I can see the logic of what you're saying.
Isn't Beta Z?
Hmm?
I thought we were with the Beta Z.
Yeah.
No, she said I'm no Vulcan.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, missed that.
Mhm. I
Like, that
will.
doesn't make any sense.
I'll make arrangements to visit the Gallant's med bay. If nothing else, it will be good to get caught up with Shannara.
And so we'll actually step
Oh.
aside and, like, you know, hit her little communicator and just give a heads up to Shannara that the Betazed ambassador will be negotiator will be taking a visit
Shannara's
to Medbay.
Shannara's not on the Gallant.
Isn't she?
No, Shannara's with the hot doctor.
I'll she'll buzz up to whoever's heading up the Medbay on Gallant right now, just to, you know, give a quick description of like what readings they should be looking out for and a suggestion for what medical treatment they might want to be looking into. But
And if you want to talk to Shannara when you come back, we'll let her know. And when she gets off her shift, she can come. You guys can hang out.
Of course, yes. No, I wasn't aware that Shannara was on the planet right now. But I am sure that whoever else is there will do an excellent job finding whatever it is you're looking for.
Yes.
So you hear over your comm badge the EMH responding. Oh yes, I intend to be quite thorough.
Just one second before you go. I just have one quick little question. When everything started to get a little bit heated during the negotiations, did you feel anything that could maybe pinpoint when something changed for you? We're going to be reviewing footage if we're able to get access to it, and if there's something we can be on the lookout for, maybe a timestamp would help us when you felt things start to change.
I've been thinking about that. It's hard to say. The whole thing gets very hazy, very blurry. I hard to say exactly, but I was trying to see if I could pinpoint where these feelings were coming from. Once you pointed out that something was amiss, I was trying to pinpoint it. It felt so strong, like it was all around me. It was hard to pick it out. It was like I was just like mirroring back what was all around me, but in this kind of like runaway reaction, almost like almost like I couldn't even control my own empathic abilities. I think it. Yeah, Vani and I had started to get into it over some kind of import restriction. I don't remember the specifics. It had we had just started talking about the imports specifically. I remember it was some minor detail. It was something we had quarreled about before, just in that very blunt way that Vani has. That I guess it irked me that she was bringing it up again, but that spark, that agitation somehow was like lighting a fuse. It almost seemed like. And that's where I think I if I can pinpoint a spot, it would be that. That was the first time that I felt angry, and at that once that started, I never stopped.
Okay. Well, that'll give us a good point to look for in the footage. When we hear you guys start to talk about that, we'll be able to look a little bit more closely about what everyone else is doing while that's happening.
If you don't mind me asking on that subject, as long as I'm submitting to a battery of questions and tests, what exactly are you planning to do as far as security for the continuing negotiations tomorrow to hopefully ensure this doesn't happen again?
So we have two potential options right now for the security. It would be either the same number of personnel on each side. However, we would swap the members out for people less sensitive to these kind of psionic impulses that Sosa was able to identify. So fewer Romulans, no Vulcans. Or the other option that was presented was the people who are currently serving could continue to serve. However, we would double the size of the security force, 1-to-1 with a member of their security team who again would not be Romulan or Vulcan, so that there could be a balance. The decision isn't finalized yet, but we are in discussion about what's the best way to proceed where both sides feel secure.
I see. That will be complicated, I imagine.
If this was easy, it would be done already.
I know, and I understand that, Commander. I'm catastrophizing. I'm picturing all the different ways that this could get spun, could go wrong. If you were mentioning being particularly associated with psionic, being particularly susceptible to this type of psionic interference, you say you've identified it as being particularly effective against Romulans and Vulcans, but of course, as a telepathic and an empathic race myself, Betazoids are also highly susceptible. And as I've said, I think my presence at the negotiations is necessary, but I can already picture the info feed headlines of removing Romulans from the negotiations, but leaving the Betazoid. It's
Well, we wouldn't be removing the negotiators. Vani would still be present. That would not change just because maybe some of the security team does. In addition to identifying that some alien species are more susceptible, so also, for example, the Catians as well, not just Romulans and Vulcans and everything. That was just the example because that was the primary militaristic presence. But Sosa's also been working with our engineering team on finding a way to secure the room psionically.
Well, that will be helpful. Hmm. I can see problems with that as well, but again, as I said, I'm catastrophizing, and I don't want to take up any more of your time. I will do as you've asked. I will make arrangements to report to the Gallant, and I suppose your medical team will let you know whatever it is they find out.
Yes, the EMS will be happy to gloat at Sosa about everything that he finds.
I've not met your EMH, but Shannara does speak very highly of them.
Well, I think you should get going. The longer we stand here and talk, the less time you have to rest and recuperate before tomorrow. So
Yes,
I'm just
of course.
gonna...
I need to make preparations. I obviously can't be having a full workup done like this. Let me see. What do I have that is surgical chic? And she goes off into her wardrobe that seems like it takes up more of the apartment than it does not.
All right, well, thanks for chatting with us. Gonna shimmy on out of the room.
Yeah, I guess we should probably go check in all our other ambassadors and make sure none of them are experiencing similar side effects to this psionic attack.
It's like, it's been a while. How's your SNS feeling? How's your synaptic nervous system doing? You good?
Mhm,
You feel
mhm.
nauseous? What's up? You got the zoomies for no reason? You have to tell us if you have the zoomies.
unknown psychic attack side effect, the zoomies.
The zoomies.
The zoomies. But yeah. I think that is probably where we'll head next, is probably Vani.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are the ones who were like, she was also most like directly impacted, it felt like, by the attack, and then probably finish with Dotica, since her and I were both pretty okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right. So you are heading to Vani's next, you said?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. You arrive at their I guess cell is probably the best way to describe it. They tend to live a very Spartan, very monastic lifestyle. You are greeted by a number of very curt sisters of absolute candor who inform you that Sister Vani has been sleeping and will likely be very cranky when you meet her.
that's fine. I would just want her to feel her true self. Also, I've experienced cranky before.
Mm-hmm. And you are let in where Vani is sitting behind a desk in her cell with a number of pads strewn out across the surface, and she just looks up at the two of you and says, "Your presence is unexpected and unwelcome. Please be brief."
Certainly, we are just following up on everyone who was present during the attack to do a second round of medical scans to make sure there's been no new side effects. If you would be okay with Commander Sosa taking some scans, we can head out without lingering.
I will submit to any tests that bring this interaction to a conclusion sooner.
Thank you, Sosa. If you would be so kind.
Yep, you can just go ahead and, if you'd like to stay seated in your bed. I don't know. She's just gonna, grab her medical stuff and do quick scan diagnostic.
Okay. Yeah, give me a quick insight science.
Oof. That is 1 success and a big old 20.
Hold on. Let me double check if I could maybe. Could I use my advisor talent in this to assist on a character who is under my command to reroll one of their d20s using my command?
Pitch me on how you were doing that.
I think while Sosa's doing the scans, I think from the body language sounded like she's being a little bit more cautious with the scans, and I think Naiko will just kind of like encourage Sosa to get closer and just like, she's not gonna bite you, just get in there.
Sure, go ahead and take the reroll.
I don't know, she looks like she might bite me. Okay, so now it's 2 successes.
You are able to complete the scan, at which point Vani just looks at you and says, I only bite those whom I feel a particular affection towards, and
Which is not me. Great.
and I do
so,
not, and I don't like you.
And I don't like you.
Yeah. So the results are negative. You don't see any of this same lingering after effects in Vani that you see in Katith. However, as you are looking sort of over Vani's shoulder as you're performing these scans, you see some of the pads that are on the desk. And one of them is open to what appears to be a picture of a De Bruyne artifact, very similar to the ones that you were looking at as like that were connected to the psionic weaponry employed by the De Bruyne. It looks very similar to the Stone of Gaul.
So while she is like, reviewing the results, she's going to like try and look up and catch Naiko's eye and then like pointedly look down at the pads while being like, "Oh, Commander, Lieutenant, if you could just confer with me real quick about as a second opinion before I sign off on these results," and try to like give Naiko ability to scooch over and like look at the pads.
Commander, your ruse is unnecessary. If you wish to discuss the contents of my desk, please ask forthrightly.
Well, so interesting research history you've got going on here on the artifacts there. Is that a particular hobby of yours?
No, it isn't. While I have some amount of faith in Starfleet's ability to conduct an investigation, as well as in our internal security forces, I decided to conduct an investigation on my own recognizance as well. As soon as the topic of psionic interference was brought up, and I heard that there was the possibility of removing Vulcans and Romulans from the proceedings, my thought immediately went to artifacts such as the Stone of Gaul. I'm certain you have conducted the same investigation. As you would know, you have turned up that there are De Bruyne archaeological sites on Anzuris. This picture that I'm looking at right now is from a museum here in Anzuris City, where we have just been putting on an exhibition of a number of such De Bruyne artifacts. I find that interesting, don't you?
Extremely interesting.
I'm assuming that after you finished conducting whatever interrogation it was you wanted to of me, that would be your next stop, obviously.
Obviously.
Well, Dodica's our next stop, but then after that. Yeah. But you bring up something that I did want to talk to you briefly about, the security measures for the resuming of the negotiations. What is your preference?
On what specifically?
There has been some concern raised that doubling the security force with members who are less susceptible to psionic attacks could present too much of a militaristic view of the negotiations, whereas completely swapping out the team and eliminating some of, as you mentioned, eliminating Vulcan or Romulan presence down to the minimum of just yourself would also send while that might be optimal for security on a psionic standpoint, it's not great. It doesn't breed confidence in the people who live here who these negotiations matter to. So, what is your preference?
Bonnie will fix you, Naiko, just like directly in like a stare that seems like it's like going just all the way into your soul. I think that my preference is immaterial, Commander. You were sent here to be the Starfleet officer in charge of this operation. Be in charge of it. Make a decision.
Then we will be doubling the forces.
Excellent.
All right. Well, now that that's all settled.
If all of you, if you are done needing your hands held, I have preparations to make for the negotiations tomorrow.
All right. You have a good rest of your evening. I'm gonna step out into the hallway with Sosa.
Damn.
Well, she's direct.
All right, I guess that's should go double check on Dodica and then go get a security team to and maybe we can have someone start investigating if there's any news of theft from that exhibition while we go talk to Dodica. Get some of your security team on it.
Oh yeah, we could. We could do that, but I thought you don't want to go to the museum?
Well, we'll go in person, but like in the meantime, we might as well check and see if there's any news reports about break-ins.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I'm just gonna text the Star Trek equivalent
of teams. We can delegate.
We can delegate,
but Star Trek show way, but
Sosa's like, what was the point of reaching the level of commander if you're gonna do everything yourself?
I want to get to do the fun, deep research stuff. I don't want to do the boring, looking for news articles level of research. That's what ensigns are for.
Fine.
Selleck's just up in his ready room like, this tea is great.
And two ensigns walk down the hall past Sosa like...
Actually, hey guys, come here.
Oh no. Commander, no, I swear it wasn't us. No, it wasn't it wasn't us. It was Brannigan. Brannigan said we had to do it.
If Brannigan told you had to jump off a bridge, would you do it? No.
I mean, if you made it an order.
If he made that an order, that's a look at me. If one of your commanding officers tells you to hurt yourself, you shouldn't do it. Okay?
Is that an order, sir?
If it has to be. Damn. All right. Anyway.
Sorry, sir. We're just not used to being flagged down by like our like boss's boss. What can we do for you, sir?
There is a museum here on the planet that has been on Anzuris that has been so what was the artifacts called? Sorry.
The Durin artifacts?
The Debrune, yeah.
Debrune.
They're showcasing Debrune artifacts. We need you to go find out and make sure that look up some local news reports. Have there been any recent break-ins or attempted break-ins, or somebody looked at the collection sideways? Anything of the sort.
Absolutely, sir. Love museums, love brooms too. We'll have that. When do you want that report on your desk by?
Tonight. The information would be very valuable before I go back into negotiations tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Tonight? Fuck that. We wanted this report yesterday. Do it.
Are we dismissed, sir?
Yes.
Dismissed.
Thank you, sir. And they scurry back down the hallway.
You really enjoy that.
Look, if you don't, flirt with taking advantage of the fact that you're in a commanding role every once in a while, they won't have anything to complain about when they get to 10 forward later and about how their shift went. It's good for them to have a little something to complain about later.
It's enrichment for the ensigns.
You gotta give them something to do.
It's team building exercises for the ensigns.
The ensigns need a common enemy. No, not the common enemy. Not the common enemy. Wait, I take that back. Anyway, let's go check on Dotica.
Sosa should never have been put in a leadership position. This was someone's mistake.
I mean, I think that's kind of the problem with like Trill in general, is that like they've lived so long that they just like are constitutionally incapable of giving a fuck.
It really, I think, does put it in perspective where it's like, okay, this is the only life that Sosa, will have, but Reen, on the other hand, is like, same shit, different day, like...
Just like, what do you mean you're not using the perks of your position, you weirdo?
somewhere the memories of what Misra are like, no, but I want to go to the museum.
No,
I want to go to the museum.
Meow.
But you find, yes, Dotica has a house in the Illyrian sector of Anzuris City. Subtly a bit different than the Ramen areas. It's a bit older. It predates the large scale Romulan settlement after the explosion of the Romulus system. So the buildings are a bit older, more permanent, more wood, less metal. imported from off-world. And there's the Illyrians in question are extremely diverse physically and phenotypically. And you buzz at Dodica's quarters, and you hear them say, "Come."
Hello.
Commander, Lieutenant Commander. But please, come in, come in. Can I get you anything?
I'm all right. Is Sosa?
I mean, I'll take a drink if you've got something.
Some Saurian brandy, or are you on duty?
Maybe let Sosa scan you first, and then they can have the brandy.
And then I'll be off duty. No, that's not how that works.
It's not. But we're we're following up on
scan finished, clocking out.
Turning the uniform inside out, because that's how that works.
Just immediately. It's like I've sent my last email for the day, gotta start drinking.
And
now.
out of office message turned on the comm badge, and we're good. All right. No, sadly, no Saurian brandy for me. But I may take you up on that later. Okay. But we would very much appreciate. We are doing some follow-up quick diagnostic scans just to make sure that there are no lasting effects from the attack today. If you would not mind submitting to just a quick diagnostic scan to double check your baseline readout and make sure everything is in the proper order.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Great. Gonna do myself a scan as I stare longingly at the bottle of Saurian brandy. Ooh. I got a success and a 1.
Ooh.
So I think that means 3 successes, does it not?
That does. So yes, you are able to determine very definitively that it doesn't seem that Dodica is experiencing any of the ill side effects. In fact, Dodica's probably got the overall best scan that you've gotten so far. It seems like they've shaken off whatever these effects are very, very quickly. If
good looking scan right there.
Yeah, it's a good looking scan. I mean, if Kadith was more susceptible because of their betazoid physiology, you would guess that probably Dodica is perhaps less susceptible because of whatever genetic enhancements they have.
Yes, I would say you definitely have an all clear for continuing to take part in the negotiations tomorrow. So thank you so much for your participation. And I'll turn it over to Commander Sosa. If you have any follow-up questions before we take our leave.
Not so much questions, really, just a to confirm about tomorrow. We just recently came from Vani's apartments, and it's been decided we will be doubling the security forces on both sides going into the negotiations tomorrow, so that there is a present contingent of people who are less susceptible to psionic activity without limiting the accurate representation of the interested parties on the planet.
I can't say that I love the optics of that, but I am willing to put that decision in your hands.
Optically, I hate the idea of excluding a large Romulan presence, which I think is what some of the detractors of this negotiation would expect us to do. it would be arguably the easier path, but I don't think it's the appropriate one.
Very
If
well.
you have any people you have strong recommendations of that you would like to have present,
I'll send over a list.
yeah. We are also working on a security measure to try to shield the room from any possible interference. And there has been a lead if you're interested in it.
All right.
In some research independently on both sides, it's the De Bruyn artifacts have come up.
Like the ones at the museum.
Yes.
All right. Interesting.
Are you familiar with them?
I am somewhat. I helped put together the exhibition at the museum. It's the De Bruyn archaeology that has happened on the planet. I thought that it was important to try to demonstrate that Anzuris has its own identity that isn't tied just to being a latent Romulan colony, that it has a history that goes back before then, that includes Illyrian settlers such as my ancestors, but also the De Bruyn when they first colonized this planet centuries ago. Even if they're all gone now, I think that establishing an Anzuran identity of itself is essential, frankly, for these negotiations to succeed. This can't be seen as a Romulan world acceding to the Federation. This has to be a world with its own distinctive culture and character and destiny, choosing a path for itself. It's troubling to me that it could be involved somehow. I will confess that while having set up the exhibit, I don't know that much about the De Bruyn myself. How how is how are these artifacts connected? Surely we haven't unearthed some sort of like ancient curse, have we?
I don't think so. I think they just. So I think you just said some of them are attuned for weaponry.
Oh, I mean, there's a history of them having been used in that manner that we have found in historical records, but nothing to this sort of scale. But it is certainly an avenue. That would be foolish not to consider as part of our investigation into a psionic attack on a planet with that kind of history of artifacts. So,
Well, if you find out anything about it, please do let me know.
Yes, of course we will. And is there? You mentioned you're not familiar 100% with the De Bruyn culture itself and everything, but working on the exhibit, was there anyone who maybe wasn't doing it so much for the love of the Azurian culture?
Hard to say. There were a lot of volunteers. It's We don't have a lot of money for standing at the museum, so there's a lot of it that's been put together through charity and frankly volunteer labor. it was pretty popular as a community project. I saw a lot of faces through there. Um, it's hard to say. There is. It's funny that you mention it. I honestly, I hadn't really given it much thought until you brought it up. It frankly, it almost completely slipped my mind with everything that happened. Um, when we were filing in for the negotiations the other day, um, I just happened to I clocked very briefly that one of the guards, um, I don't remember their name, but I remember distinctly that one of the guards had been a volunteer at the museum because I remembered I had seen them there several times while we were standing up the exhibit. Um, it was I actually made a note to maybe something to chat with them about afterward.
You don't remember their name, but do you remember maybe during the confrontation were they one of the ones who shot, one of the ones who stood down?
I'd frankly kind of tried to not think about it over much. I know maybe that's not helpful, but frankly, meticulously and forensically dissecting all the angles that I was nearly shot from hasn't really been a high priority for me recently. Um, it all happened so quickly. Um, I think they may have been the one that was shot,
One who passed.
the one who passed. Yes, I I don't know. I don't know for certain. Everything happened so quickly. Um, I mean, maybe if you showed me a picture, I might be able to definitely identify them. But um,
I think that's technically something I could do on my pad. I'm sure I
you
would have
probably
had
could.
like I would have had
Yeah,
access to like, and these are the security teams, so that you're not like just
yeah,
letting a rando into the room.
yeah. I think you probably do that. You can probably bring up a picture of Boren on your pad.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So is this the volunteer?
You know, I was really hoping that you would show me this, and I would say no. But no, I'm sure of it. I'm sure this was them.
Well, it helps. It definitely helps. Um, we'll be able to see if maybe there's some deeper connection to the De Bruyn artifacts and the Psionic event and Vorin, but I'm sorry,
If
it's not better news for you.
no, if that's, I mean, and I'm not really concerned as much with the the integrity of my museum exhibit so much as if there's a connection there, then that means that this conspiracy is that it runs into the Enzuran security forces, that it was in the room with us. And if that is the case, then that calls into question who we can trust.
It does. It does, and it is a shaky sense to be having going into negotiations, but
Well, the two of
I
you may be
trust.
on duty, but I think I'll be having some of that sorry and brandy now.
Yes, I think that would be an excellent.
Hell yeah, get it.
Be an excellent choice to wind down this evening, I think.
Just don't go getting hungover before negotiations tomorrow. We don't know how hangovers respond to any future psionic attacks.
Have they not done any research into that?
Not with Debrune artifacts.
Dodica just wordlessly knocks back an entire glass of brandy in one go.
Well,
like a fucking champ. I want to go drinking with Dodica one of these days. This seems like it would be fun.
Post negotiations, Dodica Sosa bar crawl.
Post negotiation bender.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'll bring Dodica. You can bring Borat. We'll just have a super fun bar crawl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vimes can bring whichever one of their fun new pet projects they are currently tormenting.
Yeah, that's accurate.
I'm still not sure what that last line of questioning from Aquila was. I'm not sure if that was just small talk or if that was interested party talk,
right,
or
right?
if that was spy work.
Like Cassidy doesn't know either.
Just had to full stop on that conversation because I was like, "Sir, I don't know your intentions." Ma'am, I don't know your intentions.
Yeah. What are your intentions to my security officer?
It's like, excuse me, real quick, 1 second, wait.
Meanwhile, security officer is like, is this flirting or a threat?
It can be both.
It can be both, and honestly, like would be par for the course with any PC I play.
So, where are Naiko and Sosa going next?
Probably gonna check in if there's any super compelling leads on that whole idea of a break-in at the museum, but otherwise I guess we'll go to the museum.
Okay.
And see on the ground what the situation looks like.
Okay. You guys leave Dodica's residence and are making your way over to the museum, which actually isn't super far from the Illyrian sector. Could I have both of you guys just give me a little quick, let's call it an insight security?
Could you have asked for that role any more suspiciously?
I mean, probably, like, if I really tried. Hey, could I just have you guys give me just like a little teensy, beensy, weensy
Nico, I hope you don't suck at security because I just rolled double 20s.
No, put those dice in jail.
Double 20s, double 20s.
All right, Commander, it's on you.
I needed those Saturday for my D&D game. Damn.
I got a 13 and a 14, which is 1 success and 1 just over.
All right.
Because 13 is my target.
So I think with that, sort of the across the board success level that we have there, you guys are very kind of locked in, partially on the mission, kind of like talking out, various angles on this, as well as, kibitzing about Dodica and Barot and the various other colorful characters that you've met on this little adventure, such that it takes you a minute to realize that you are being followed. Being followed by several people. And you realize it when you stop, because up ahead of you, you realize you're gonna have to kind of like adjust your course a little bit, because there is a large group of people in the square ahead of you engaged in some kind of protest. And it's when you pause and the people behind you pause that you realize that like this group of people that is walking behind you is not about their own business. They are about you.
What are we looking at? One or two people, 3 or 4 people,
You
even
would
numbers,
get,
odd numbers, armed.
you see about 4 people. They don't appear to be armed, but they are sort of like shuffling back and forth in a sketchy manner. And as you were looking at them, they all appear to be Illyrian, and that is also around the time you clock some of the chants coming from the protest in the square up ahead of you. Chants that appear to be particularly anti-Federation, anti-Starfleet in nature. And that is when one of the 4 groups, one of the 4 people, 4 of the Lyrians in front of you, steps forward and just says to the 2 of you, "What you doing here, Starfleet?"
Gonna go look at the museum. Ambassador Dodica said that she helped participate in curating the De Bruyn exhibit. We were interested in seeing her work.
Oh yeah, you guys are all good friends of Dodica now.
I would like to think so. She seems very kind.
I absolutely want to go for a drink later.
Yeah, no, yeah, she's real nice. Been really good to a lot of people. Certainly, kind is a way to describe her. Kind enough to sell us out to the Federation, apparently.
I wouldn't say that's accurate. She does not. She told me she doesn't support the planet joining the Federation.
Uh-huh.
Probably not helpful to say at this venture.
Well, it's true. He should know that she is in line with his interests.
Yeah, but maybe we could put that in a way that doesn't encourage these folks to, jump us.
You wouldn't do that, would you?
I mean, I don't know. Just, it's hard to say. I mean, Starfleet and augments like us don't tend to have a real friendly history. And, I don't know, guys. Are you feeling threatened right now? I mean, I don't know, like, what's the vibe right now? What do you guys,
I'm sorry. Are you asking us if we feel threatened, or are you asking yourselves if you feel threatened? Because let me tell you, a group of how many of you who are augmented are feeling threatened by 2 little old us, your augmentations are shit, and you should pick better ones.
No, so how is that better than what I said? So be real. So look at me in the face. Be real honest with me. How's that better?
Okay.
It's not. I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry.
So, on that note,
so much. Just like let's be calm says some unhinged shit. Like,
if you're gonna choose augmentations, you should not feel threatened by 2 randos. That's just a fact.
On that note, we're going to take a little 10-minute break. And when we come back, we're going to pick up with Vimes and see what kind of chicaneries they're getting into. I'm sure this scene is going to turn out fine. I'm sure this is going to be great.
Should I be reviewing combat rules while we just switch to Vimes?
Who can say? Who can say ultimately? But
Who's to say?
in the meantime, we're gonna take a quick 10-minute break. All right, guys, we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. And we are back. Hello and howdy, everybody. All right, so I am sure the Naiko and Sosa are going to be hokey day fine times. We're instead gonna pivot over to see how Lieutenant Commander Vimes to Sam is faring. So remind me again specifically what Lieutenant Commander Vimes' itinerary was.
Acquire Aquila. Walk with Aquila to find Tikal. I don't know where Tikal is located.
Cool.
Speak to Tikal.
Cool. All right. Cool.
That is it.
All right. Yeah, you are able to locate Corporal Aquila pretty easily. She is not far, actually, from the main sort of negotiation building. Essentially, continuing to try and deal with the spun out security aftermath from previously.
Okay. I will walk up and Corporal Aquila.
The commander. Hello. Good to see you again.
I could use your assistance.
Right this moment?
Yes. If you're available. I can wait.
I would never dream of it, Commander. I can make myself available. Decimus, can you take it from here? All right.
Decimus.
I am at your disposal, Commander.
Thank you. I need to find this reporter, and I use that term loosely, to call.
I see.
I don't know where to find him on this planet.
I see. You want to... It's a social call? Are you planning to interrogate him?
I want to make sure that when I arrive, a camera is not shoved in my face as Starfleet showing up to intimidate him.
Well, I can't make any guarantees about how Tikal's info web will spin that.
But having one of the kidnapped security officers come with me willingly of their own volition.
I will certainly see what I can do.
There we go. We do want to invite him up onto the ship too.
Well, always good to have a raison terre to be present.
Yes.
Saves the trouble of getting a warrant.
Which I legally can't do. Hence another reason for you being here.
Yes. On Anzuris, there are ways and there are ways of doing things.
Of course. Yes. I guess we're walking and talking now.
Yes. Yes. I know where to call makes his office, at least when he's staying in Anzuris City, which I suspect that he is, given everything that's going on. He needs to be in the thick of everything. I think, as I mentioned, for as much as he doesn't like to be seen, he does put himself where he can be seen an awful lot. You called him a reporter earlier. I don't know if that is a strictly accurate description.
Loose terminology.
Well, he was a journalist on Anzuris for a while, but he's spun that out into a hang on.
You have
you froze.
Well, that could people hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, you could hear. Okay, all right. Well, that's neat. Cool. All right. Let's
Quite the freeze
see.
frame.
Cool. Is that? Oh, are we back?
You're moving. You're back.
Am I back? Okay.
You're back.
Cool. That was wild. That I just like got like a weird error message that was like, oh no camera. No,
Not
no,
for you.
no camera, no
No.
more. Camera crash.
No.
Camera go night. Go sleep.
My shift is over. I would like some brandy.
Seems like it's okay now, though. Okay, so Takal was a journalist here on Anzoris for many years. He sort of spun that out into more of a sort of a media sphere, a media network and empire. He doesn't do much on the ground reporting anymore.
Obviously.
But if there is any sort of press corps that you've seen around the proceedings, it is a foregone conclusion that Takal has people there.
Understood. How many people are around us as we're walking and talking?
I mean, there are people passing you on the street. As you're not like in the throng, but there are like people.
Corporal Aquila, I believe I asked you in passing aboard the Gallant about the Tal Shiar.
I recall.
Do they have a presence on Anzoris?
I can tell you truthfully, not to my knowledge.
I understand.
That doesn't necessarily mean that they
your
don't.
Knowledge?
That doesn't necessarily mean that they don't. I'm just saying that if they do, I am not aware of it.
Have you encountered the Tal Shiar before? Well, what remains of them after the destruction of our homeworld?
Not directly, at least, again, to my knowledge. But that was the way of it on Old Romulus, wasn't it? That the Tal Shiar was just a fact of life. Asking about the Tal Shiar was like asking about the weather.
Yes.
It was...
And assume.
It was affecting you to different degrees, but to say that there was no Tal Shiar would be to say that there was no weather.
I understand. Okay. Just passing, I had an interaction or two with them on where my family and I ended up. After
what was that, out of curiosity?
Why did you ask me that question? I don't remember.
Actually, I'm realizing now, I don't think you ever actually named it.
I don't think we did. Brendan, you gotta give me something. I have nothing. I don't think we did. I think we just called it in one of the colonies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember all the.
What was the question?
Where am I from? I didn't write it down.
Yeah, I'm not sure you ever did. Hang on, I'm going to the planet name generator. Give me a second.
You were here. You were on this planet in a Romulan refugee camp.
No. I was on a different one. That's what Aquila is asking about. Because I've never been to Anzoris. This is just another refugee outpost. But it looks a lot like how Anzoris looks.
Sorry, the literal first thing what gives me is that name is Munch 9.
You can't do that to me.
How about
I will think of is Law and Order SVU. That is the only thing I will think of.
Okay. What it gave me? It gave me Garios Major. How about we call it Garios?
Garios. Let's do that. Garios.
Yeah.
Okay. Corporal, I am from Garia. Well, recently from Garios.
Oh, I've never been there myself. I've heard it's nice. I think one of my second cousins ended up there.
It's something. Not as nice as Enzoris, certainly.
Not as nice as Enzuris. Oof.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry that came out. It just, I mean, my family, like a lot of families, my family was from the home world, and it's, it was an adjustment.
Hmm. I'm aware I had a whole career, life, and then our planet blew up. Do you know that the commander made me watch a movie called Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, thinking it would be cathartic for me? It was eventually. But Earth blows up in that one. On screen, in front of you.
Well, that certainly sounds like an interesting form of Earth humor. I will admit I've never really seen the appeal.
It was humorous. 20th century Earth humor.
Oh, historical, I
For
see.
context. Yes. But here, it seems like the Romulans and the Illyrians more or less get along.
I mean, I think it helps that, there were Romulans here already, members of the dissident movement, back when there was an empire to be a dissident of.
Dissidents were here.
Yes. And
Well, that
I think
explains why you want to join the Federation.
well, you say, you, with such force. Not everyone does, but a lot do. But I think that the fact that there was already the dissident movement here, frankly, made, I guess, the transition easier for a lot of people.
Mm.
There was already a community here of people familiar with Romulan customs who could help us adjust. And that counts for something, I suppose.
And how do you feel personally? No offense will be taken, I promise.
No, I don't know. Maybe it's just that old habits die hard, but I try my best most of the time to not have an opinion until I know what the correct one is going to be.
The Empire's way of thinking. What do you think? Gut instinct.
My gut instinct is that we're fucked either way.
Why, may I ask?
Go ahead and make me a um give me a presence command. See if you can bring them out of their shell a little bit.
That's cocked. That's... Nope.
No.
16, 18.
We're here.
Damn.
And directs you inside of a building, an office. There are a lot of people running around with pads, Actually, not a lot of desks. They're just these sort of like little kind of like standing stations. Seems like most people are doing their business on the go and just sort of briefly checking in and touching base before heading out again.
I will lean in and whisper to Aquila, probably breaking every personal space bubble that Romulans have. I'm going to let you take point on this one.
Sure thing,
You
I
know
suppose.
these people better than I do.
As you say, DeCall's office should be upstairs if he's in.
After you, Corporal.
And there is a sort of a security guard slash a desk person that is guarding the turbo lift up into the higher floors, but Corporal Aquila sort of like waves them away, and the person sits down. And as you get in the turbo lift, Aquila leans in and just says, there are advantages being part of the security forces.
I see.
Although, give me a quick insight security.
Okay. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna roll different dice. Hell yeah. I rolled a 6 and a 7 under 14.
Sick. So Aquila says this by way of explanation, but you clocked that the guard on the desk didn't just like defer to Aquila. There was a look of recognition. They knew who this was, as if this is someone whom they know, who has been here before.
How are you familiar with Tikal, if I may ask, Aquila?
I can't really say that I am terribly. I mean, I know him by reputation.
You know exactly where his office is without having to ask.
I'm part of the security forces. It pays to know where all the VIPs are, especially the provocative ones.
Okay. You understand my paranoia.
Oh, absolutely. And as the turbo lift opens into Tikal's office, you hear Aquila say, personally, I'm glad to see that living in the Federation so long hasn't dulled your Romulan instincts.
I don't think anything could.
And you step off the turbo lift into a spacious office with large windows that look out over the skyline of Anzura City. And there is a large, ornately appointed desk, heavy. Like you can see that this is an artifact that was brought from Romulus, probably at great expense.
And maybe the cost of a few lives that could have been saved.
I mean, if you space in the ship for probably at least like 2 people versus what looks to have been like some patrician senators like ancestral desk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And behind it, sitting, scrolling on a pad, as people do, is the man you have heard called Tikal, whom you recognize from your one-time meeting with your former handler.
I'm going to let Aquila do introductions.
And Aquila sort of steps forward and just clears her throat. And Tikal looks up. Just sort of a double take at you. I normally expect people to schedule their visits with me in advance. I'm afraid my dance card is very busy. That's what they would say in the Federation, isn't it?
That's what the humans would say.
Mm,
Yes. But I am not human,
so you say.
nor was I the last time we met. Didn't catch your name then.
He looks at you, locks eyes with you. Aquila, do you mind giving us the room? And Aquila turns on her heel and goes back into the turbo lift and leaves.
So where do Aquila's loyalties lie?
One
To
moment, please.
Anzurus.
A moment, I beg you.
Mm.
He taps some buttons on the desk. There is a fairly elaborate and high-tech display that is actually built into the very ancient desk. And there is this sort of thrumming sound that kind of envelops the entire room.
Mhm.
It almost kind of gives you like a low-level migraine.
Mm.
My apologies for the discomfort. I just have to make sure that we're thoroughly scrubbing for any subspace microphones or telepathic observation. You never can be too
Understood.
careful. You're one of Relah's, weren't you?
Were you?
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time, indeed.
So, Starfleet. Never would have thought that Relah managed to get you so deep.
Verla did nothing. I did everything myself.
We're cut from the same cloth, I see. Relah always felt that I owed him more than my due.
Am I to take that he's dead now?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. You didn't get the news? I would have invited you for the
No.
funeral had I known.
I don't think I would have shown, but how long since he died?
Oh, must have been 5 years now?
Right around the time I was commissioned.
Suppose that's convenient for you. Helps you maintain your cover. Rather brilliant, honestly, all things considered. A Romulan Starfleet security officer. That's something. Can't go around accusing one of the very vanishingly few Romulans in Starfleet of being a spy in the oh-so-tolerant Federation, now can we? Not since the Drumhead incident.
No. That would be profiling.
No, of course. So, I guess that begs the question, what are you doing in my patch?
What are you doing reporting on my infiltration of negotiations? Who did it? Takal? Don't think it was you. It's not in your best interests. But you have to know all the moving players on this planet. Who benefits from negotiations breaking down in a hostile manner?
Well,
Everyone.
I was about to say, the list is too long, but frankly, also, even if I knew, I couldn't tell you.
And why is that?
I never reveal my sources.
I'm not asking to reveal your sources.
So what are you asking then?
To reveal a traitor.
A traitor to what, though? Isn't that the question?
Hmm.
Law drank himself to death, pining for a restoration of the Empire, for a
Yes.
return to grace, to an imagined past. I prefer to think about the future.
What future do you consider to call?
I like to think that I provide a service. A journalist is just a spy who works for the people. I give people what they want, the truth as they see it.
Hmm.
That's really what the Tal Shiar was always about. Tal Shiar never lies to Sam, it just complicates the truth.
Agreed. So, what truth are you complicating?
I'm giving people the information that they want to hear. I'm giving people means of liberating themselves from the constraints that have held our people back for so long.
What about the Illyrians?
What about them?
You have no concern for their well being, your new neighbors?
I mean, they're some of my best customers. I mean, if you think that the Romulans on Anzuris are suspicious of joining the Federation, you can't begin to imagine how the Illyrians feel. I've had to convince some Romulans that joining the Federation is not in their best interests. I barely have to nudge the Illyrians.
And to call, what is to stop me from walking out of this door, which I will do, by the way, and laying blame at your feet?
That's a very good question. What is to stop you? What would
Give me a
stop you?
reason.
What do you
I'm
want?
looking for a reason. Give me one.
And I'm asking, what do you want, Vimes to Sam? I'm in the
I
business
want,
of giving people what they want for the right price. You've named
I
your price.
want,
What do you want?
I want a name, a conviction for murder, and for these negotiations to continue uninterrupted. And my price is negotiable.
Okay, see, that is a little bit challenging. Uh, if only because, well, I'm sure your price is negotiable. Um, the bid you'd have to beat is pretty high.
Try me.
The way things are now on Anzuris, I'll be honest, I like them. I'm comfortable. People look to me as their source for truth, for liberation from the deceptions and the reservations. People say that our stoicism in our culture was a result of paranoia, of the Tal Shiar, of this culture of secrecy that we developed. But to me, that betrays a fundamental misunderstanding of our history. It was the Vulcans that struck first during the time of awakening, when Surak and his followers purged themselves of emotion to make themselves these paragons of logic, or however they wanted to spin it for themselves. The real reason they did that was that it made them less susceptible to the kinds of emotional weaponry that they deployed against the people that resisted them.
Mm.
People that fled that persecution to settle places like Anzuris, places like
To call.
Romulus,
To call.
to Sam.
I don't have all day. Stop with your imagined history. What is the bid I have to beat?
The bid is the status quo, to Sam.
The negotiations are probably not going to work because the Illyrians will never agree. The status quo can be maintained without the negotiations being interrupted. What are you afraid of, Takal? Your little stint at demagoguery being ended?
I have worked very hard at it.
All due respect. You killed one of our own if this was you. And if it wasn't, your machinations resulted in the death of one of our own, Takal. Have you no shame when there are so few of us left?
Any shame I had, I left in the same refugee camp you did.
So was it you?
Was it me that what?
Disrupted negotiations.
In a manner of speaking. See, it turns out that there's a problem with an upgrade that we just rolled out to a lot of the media distribution systems around Anzuris. Some new experimental technology needs some of the kinks worked out of it. A means of really helping the people consuming media connect with the stories that affect them. Really, really get emotionally invested. We couldn't have foreseen the side effects that would have happened. We focus grouped everything. We didn't see anything like this. But I guess our sample size wasn't large enough. And lo and behold, some violent psychosis breaks out in a meeting on a city street in the Illyrian sector. And that is
Maybe
when...
we shouldn't be playing with rocks.
Why do you say that?
De Bruyne Archaeological Exhibition. Takal, I think you believe I'm here to stop you, or to hurt you, or to drag you to Federation custody. Do I seem to be doing any of those things?
Not at this exact moment, no. But then again, if I believed really that you were going to do that, do you think that I would be sitting here monologuing at you?
Takal, do you believe that I would have come here alone if I had any intention of doing those things?
No.
Logically, does it not follow that I'm here to simply listen?
Listen. I'm telling you what's going on. I'm just complicating the truth a little.
I know. Simplify it. Save me some time.
Voren and Aquila are part of a paramilitary cell that wants to
There it is.
rejoin the Empire. They wanted to disrupt the negotiations, but didn't know how. They came to me because they thought that I was sympathetic to them. I acted as an intermediary, connecting them with certain off-world parties that would also like to see Anzuris not join the Federation. Together, we borrowed some De Bruyne artifacts from the exhibition and reverse engineered their technology into Anzuris's media distribution system.
So the whole planet is a powder keg waiting to happen on your command, Aquila's?
We have a distributed network of controllers.
I understand. And the goal is to incite violence, end negotiations, what?
To demonstrate to all parties that Anzuris would be better off going its own way.
Understood. All right. Good luck. And she'll get up to leave.
And you will approach the turbo lift, and the turbo lift is not going to open.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to monologue at you if I thought that you had any intention of trying to stop me or ratting me out. But Vimes, come on. I wasn't going to let you just walk out of here. That was... Come on, that was never going to happen.
Hey, Brendan.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that technology in a desk before. What's the range on the blocking of transmissions on those things?
The blocking of transmissions. What are you trying to do specifically?
Well, I was planning on breaking the window and jumping and getting myself. Yeah.
Oh, the fuzzer he's using. Okay, so you're just Yeah. Well, so it's definitely going to contain the room. So if you can,
get outside the room.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plan is. What are those windows made of?
Glass, as far as you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Can I break them?
You could certainly try.
I would like to bum rush and break the window. And then if that works, step 2 is grab to call, jump, buzz the Enterprise, 2 to beam up, moving targets.
So, what I think you can do is you can run up the windows, break it, jump out, and make that call. I don't think you have time to grab to call, because to call is, you're not just going to be able to grab to call. He's going to fight you.
Can I grab to call's pad?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I'm going to say that the mechanics just don't fully work out.
That's fine.
On that. Yeah.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, no.
Secondary option.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know a quick way to disable that desk?
So I think your first instinct is to shoot it.
Shoot it.
But you then are like, but you think about it for another second and you're like, okay, this is the desk of a supremely paranoid person. Like
it's filled with explosives. Yeah.
He's got a fucking force. He's got a fucking force field there. Like, that's not gonna fly.
Yeah.
Truthfully, honestly, probably your first instinct to just like try to like phaser out and bum rush the window and try to get transported out midair. That probably is the plan of attack that is going to be like sufficiently unhinged that Tikal has not already thought of it.
Yep. I've been spending too much time with humans. Okay.
Yeah, the most, like, you're thinking through a lot of these and you're like, oh, motherfucker, he's probably thought of that. But you're like, no, but like the window plan, he's probably not thought about that.
No. Gotta discard all the Romulan spy behavior that you've ever been trained, because the old Romulan spy knows it. You gotta whip out the weird shit you've seen from the 20th century human films.
Yeah. Like, you have to approach this not as a former Tal Shiar asset, but as a fucking cowboy ass Starfleet officer.
I genuinely feel like someone made me and Selleck watch Die Hard one too many times. Okay.
Like, no, this requires like a distinctly like human plan of action.
Yep.
It was absolutely Sosa who made you watch Die Hard.
Yeah. This is how we bonded, I feel like.
She's got a weird ancient American, like ancient Earth cinema hobby.
Yeah. This tracks. Okay. So here's that was all like above table.
Yeah.
Let's work through the mechanics of this. I think Vimes just carefully, I think, would have moved Phaser to the front of her uniform, for easier access. And so as she's turned still at the turbo lift, makes like she's crossing her arms before she turns around, but pockets, like palms the phaser. And then turns and just calmly walks a few steps towards Tikal, but like putting space like off to one side. So your plan was to kidnap a Starfleet officer.
Kidnapping? Hardly.
Yes.
No, Vimes. I'm going to recruit a Starfleet officer. And with that, okay, all right, you're just gonna shoot. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, if you're not gonna hear him out, just go for we're gonna go for the Die Hard. Okay.
Oh, the urge to hear him out. Oh.
Don't give him the satisfaction vibes.
Nope, he's not worth it. Let's go.
No, not gonna listen to this fucker talk anymore.
No, he monologued too much. I'm annoyed.
Yep. Yep. That's
I
fair.
was also
Gotta be
shown
honest,
The
I'd hear
Incredibles.
him
I
out.
caught him monologuing.
So I was like, I'd listen. There's two
curious.
wolves
I'm
inside of
curious.
you.
I'm curious
Mhm.
what his evil plan is.
I
Two
am too,
wolves.
which was why I was trying to bum rush him and like tackle him out the window.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Never mind. I like
Okay,
that
what
plan better. Don't listen to him. Do that.
Right? But Brendan said I couldn't.
Yeah, you can't. You're not gonna be able to get him as well, but you can attempt to escape that way.
Yep. Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna shoot. What do I do here? What do you want me to do?
You know what? Let's go ahead and have you. All right. What do I want to have? This is such an interesting maneuver here. You're just like running at the window while also blasting it out at the same time. Okay. It's daring, definitely. Daring is the attribute.
Yeah.
And I guess security. Yeah, you are sort of doing like the opposite of security. So, yeah, daring security.
I rolled a 1 and a 10.
Oh, sick.
Under 13.
All right. Yep. You done the easy part.
Yeah.
You have blasted you dash at the window and blast it out with your phaser and dive out. And this is after Gallant said, I'm going to recruit a Starfleet officer or not.
Or not.
or not.
Okay, now
And-
what am I rolling to get up onto
Okay.
Gallant?
Yes. Okay. Cool. That how interesting. All right. Definitely daring still. I'm gonna call
I'm
it
watching chat and I shouldn't be doing that.
I'm gonna call it daring command.
Okay. Here we go. We're gonna roll. I love this dice. It rolled a 7. Okay, let's roll this one. And a 6.
All right. Okay, so this is how this goes. Okay, so you are plummeting and you tap your comm badge and you're like gallant gallant one to beam up immediately. And right now, and you hear the transporter chief come back. Heard, Lieutenant Commander, stand by.
But here's the thing. Do I land on the transporter deck in the same position I was falling?
So it does take, obviously, we know this is going to take much longer than it should. Like you are plummeting to you have this moment of you're like, oh shit, I'm not
Make a backup character.
No, it's like I'm not gonna make it. But then you dematerialize and you land roughly but stably on the transporter pad of the Gallant.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
You're welcome, Commander. I'm sorry, I had trouble locking onto your
I was moving at
signal.
terminal velocity.
Yeah, I was gonna
recommend you
ask
for
about that. But I'm assuming you don't have time for
Nope.
that. So
I will be recommending you for a commendation.
do you just want me to transport you to the bridge?
Transport me. Yes.
I'm just
Yes.
stand by. I'm just gonna also just let Captain know you're coming.
Thank you.
And
I'll just stand up.
and meanwhile, we're gonna pivot over to Sosa and Nico, who at present are running through the streets of the Illyrian sector. As the Illyrians who confronted you sought to do you violence, and the protest that was going on behind you rapidly escalated into a full-blown riot. People are are breaking windows, setting fires, and you, given the tenor of that situation, you do not really want to be seen in Starfleet uniforms nearby there. Oh, you were muted.
Okay, so
Okay, no, yeah.
Am I still muted? I like just
no,
unmuted.
oh, no, you're not. There's just a weird
I've seen
delay.
this. Cool.
We'll work around it. We'll work around it. Go ahead.
Okay. Nico, I've seen this American movie from way back in the day. We just need to like grab stuff to throw on over our clothes and do like a quick change to like make us look different and like blended with the protest crowd. So, you know, is there like a shop we could just like steal stuff from as we run?
We can't
give them
steal.
credits later. We can give them credits later.
That'd be so bad for our mission here.
And I think while you are running around,
killed in the Illyrian sector would be bad for our mission here.
I don't know. Martyrdom really does have its perks sometimes when you have like a bigger picture thing going on, Sosa.
And as you are running around looking for either a back alley or a shop to loot for some a change of clothes, you hear someone say, "Commanders, this way." And you look, and you see Corporal Aquila.
Where's Vibes?
And she is motioning you into a doorway.
Where's Vibes?
Vibes is in here. Come on.
I'm a Vibe.
Sosa's gonna go in. You can do a vibe check.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna vibe check, because here's the thing. If I don't immediately see Vimes, that's suspicious to me. Because Vimes would never let... Vimes would never.
Okay. If you want a vibe check, give me...
Vibes would never do this unknown thing.
Mm-hmm.
Vimes would not send someone else to get us if there was a problem. Vimes would come get us themselves.
Sensing, I would say, sensing your hesitation, you hear Aquila say, "Come, we need a medic in here. Vimes is hurt."
This be insight security or reason security?
Insight security.
Okay. That's a 13 I gotta get. It's an 8 and a 6.
So something's definitely up. Something like the vibe is not right here. However, Sosa's already gone inside.
Yep.
Sosa goes inside, be like, how many times do I have to tell you guys? I'm not a fucking medic, but yes, I will look at Vimes.
So does Nico go inside?
I think I approach, but I don't think I go all the way in.
Okay, cool. Well, we're gonna pivot back up to the bridge of the Gallant, where the Vimes transports, I should say, in.
Oh, my tummy hurts. Okay, tap the communicator. Commander, it's a trap. It's a trap. Get off the planet. It's off the planet.
I'm afraid you're... this is the captain speaking. I am afraid you are too late, Lieutenant Commander. Communications with the planet are already being jammed. And in any case, we've just raised shields. We have additional problems as Selleck gestures...
Please don't tell me it's warbirds. Please, please, Captain.
Selleck gestures out the main view window where you see that a Romulan warbird is decloaking in front of the Gallant. And down on the surface, Nico is in the doorway, sizing up Aquila as Sosa is moving back further into the structure, looking around for Bimes, and you notice that everything has gotten it's very cold in this building for some reason. And you have just started to put together that it is very unusually refrigerated inside of this building, and what the potential implications of that could be when you see in the doorway in front of you the hulking visored cryosuit of a Breen who shoots you. And that is where we're going to end this session.
No!
Wait, hold on. Shoots Sosa or shoots Nico?
Shoots Sosa.
No! Not Sosa! Sosa's the most innocent of us all.
We're gonna kill everyone. Gloves are off. Let's go. Like you said it was a Breen in a cryosuit?
It was a Breen, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's where we're going to end this session. Very fine, very cool things happening all around, you know.
Hey, Brendan.
Yeah?
Brendan, I need your address.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you after stream. It's fine. We'll talk. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, we can talk. We can talk anytime.
Just give your address over this Twitch stream for
everybody
on the
I'll
internet.
just dox myself. It's fine.
No. You can just DM me.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'll DM you. I'll DM you. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah. No, come find me. We'll chat. Yeah, it'll be a good time. Thank you so much to everybody out there in Streamland. If you chatted, if you hung out, if you donated, especially, it really does mean the world to us. Didn't need a huge amount of momentum and threat this game, though I sense that is probably going to change in the next session. If I have learned one thing, it's that the most effective way to raise money for charity is to hold my characters hostage.
Yeah, how much do I have to donate Sosa to have just like expertly like dodged that shot Matrix style?
I mean, you can donate to give yourself an extra momentum to use on such a roll.
Mm-hmm.
I probably will.
Yeah,
that seems like
honestly, yeah.
I know what I'm about on this stream. But yes, thank you again so much to everybody. We are going to be going ahead and doing our outros here for everybody, starting with Cass.
I'm literally looking at my calendar going, what month is it? So tomorrow I do believe is Redacted, pending. But that is JD's horror game where we are essentially, it's the show 24, but now 96 hours, but as if created by David Lynch. We're all haunted houses.
Mm-hmm.
I smooched my therapist in the last game that I was in. He started it. Alternating Thursdays, you can find me over on Entropy Emporium for God Complex, where Will, familiar to LFTA people, is leading us in a Girl by Moonlight campaign where we are fighting interdimensional space kaiju with the husks of dead gods. Absolutely normal things are happening in that game. Let's see, what else have I got coming up soon? There will be announcements coming from Tales from the Table Studios for a game I am going to be the co-GM of. If you liked Brendan running Power Rangers, I may be taking some notes from how that was run for our game. And then there's also a game coming up of Fabula Ultima that I will be in. So keep out announcements for that. And yeah, that's where I'm going to be for the next little while.
Hi there. I'm Julia. I'm HexSquad on all social media platforms, and tonight I've been First Officer Nico Bard, who's been doing a job. This Saturday morning, in our Saturday morning cartoon slot, should be class reunion, which should be a fun, good time. My character is busy doing politics while other characters have to fight a horrible worm thing, zombie, worm flesh zombie thing. Unclear. Too many feet in between creature and player to fully identify. But so far, all we've got is worms and doesn't cast a shadow. Scary business. And then every other Sunday is Academy H, which is our Masks Actual Play podcast. Although the next time we meet to play, we're going to be playing something slightly different, set within the world, but it's going to be one of our fun little side adventures with a special guest. So you should definitely check that out. And then every other Thursday, when permitting, is Never Embers Enigma, where I play Lavinia Hale. Remember, ACAB does include Lavinia Hale. And that's it. Everything I do here at LFTA. I live here, I die here.
Cool. My turn. So, hi, I'm Rouge. I have been Lieutenant Commander Sosari this evening. Like Julia, all my shit is here. I don't go anywhere else. So unfortunately, this is essentially all I'm doing right now because in theory, we still haven't finished Veil Breakers because we did the big boss fight, but then everyone got busy again because life fucking happens. And so one of these days, I think about a month from now, we will finally do our epilogue session. However, until that time, I'll be back here first. And also, if you aren't already part of the LFTA Discord, you should totally do that so you can talk with all of us weird nerds. And then also, so you can join in the first Monday of every month when we do our community night that I run. So that will be coming up. On June 2nd is the next time we're going to be doing that. So you've got time to join and clear your schedule to join us for a night of probably a movie double feature that we will make fun of incessantly within the Discord. So,
Extremely rad. Hi, everyone. I'm Brendan. I was everybody else. When I'm not doing this, I am similarly mostly on LFTA. I am also in Academy H every other Sunday, our Mask Actual Play podcast, where I play Alex Sandowski, aka Victory, who is, I think, team leader now.
Yeah, you sure fucking are, bud. You sure are, bud.
I suppose this is my lot. But yes, first off, we have our interlude coming up with a special guest GM where we're going to be living that hench life. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not doing that. I think I'm just doing that and this, and then also, so I'm also the GM for Cryptid Community College, our Monster of the Week actual play podcast that is between seasons right now, but Acast is back, baby. Sometimes, if you ignore problems long enough, they do go away. And we should, I believe, have some new episodes of that going up starting on the 25th. We do have a bunch of them fully edited in the can, ready to go, ready for you folks to enjoy. So you guys can look forward to that. Is that everything I'm doing? I think that's everything I'm doing right now. I'm so used to doing more, but I think that's all I'm doing right now, and I have to actively stop myself from increasing that amount.
Same.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. So we are going to be going away, but don't go anywhere. I think Folk and Myth is playing right now. We're going to go ahead and crash their party. So be cool, be awesome, and tell them that LFTA sent you. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. It's going to be fine. We're going to be fine.